Good Wednesday afternoon to you all out there, and welcome into a live edition of the Barking Brown Show. I'm Jacob. That's Casey Kitteman. Nick is out on assignment this week. We are brought to you as always by our friends over at SeatGeek. So if you want to go see some kind of live event, and there's thousands of them to choose from, go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Barking Browns, all one word. Get $20 off that purchase. If you were checking us out on YouTube, if you're checking us out on Spotify, Apple, wherever, smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Go check out the TikTok, which is _Barking_Browns. Less than 100 followers away from a merch giveaway. So go over there and make sure you check us out there. Because sometimes we do a lot of short form stuff over there too. And sometimes it's exclusive over there because if we ramble a little too long and go over 3 minutes, YouTube won't let us upload it as a short. So then it just lives on TikTok. So Casey, how we doing, brother?
Good, man. I'm drinking my toxic waste. No free ads. It's pulling me through the day.
It's that's how our conversation started pre-show, is you being like, look at this, I got this toxic waste energy. I'm just like, oh.
Well, I say no free ads, but like if Ollie's wants to sponsor me, I will be your mouthpiece. I love that place. I go there, find deals. I found a case of this stuff for $5. I was taking a chance, and it could have went bad. It didn't. This is actually very good stuff. It's actually healthy as far as energy drinks go, despite the name Toxic Waste. But yeah, man, it's going to save me $20 this week.
Hey, dude, $20 is $20, man. I'm like,
yeah, you should do that on SeatGeek. You could go to SeatGeek, save yourself $20 by punching that promo code Barking Browns.
They do it twice, and you got $40.
Well, I brought this up on Know Your Enemy last week. Tickets were like $7, so technically would SeatGeek owe you $13? Like, I'm not sure how that works. I don't know how that would work when tickets are less than the money you're saving. I don't know.
I mean, of course, you're going to have like the processing fees and the taxes and all that stuff. You'll probably end up still owing like $10 or something, but like it'll be like $10, like you know, that kind of thing. So, hope you guys are having a great day. We got lucky today, Casey. It doesn't happen to us very often on this show where we got to have some breaking news prior to the show. We were talking about this over in the Barking Browns Discord with our good buddy Jack McCurry. I'll try the promo code just for shits and giggles. Over from the Dogland podcast, we were talking to him, and he was like, news always breaks as soon as we're done recording. And I'm like, yeah, 99% of the time, that's what happens to us too. And then like, you'll get a part of the video, especially if you don't watch the show live and you watch it like the next day, where I'll say something like, I made a short this morning actually promoting this live show, and I put it out on TikTok, and one of the things I said in it was Shedeur Sanders' potential first start. Yeah. And then like 45 minutes after I posted that video, we got the news that he is in fact starting in Las Vegas. And I'm like, okay, cool. So now I look like a jackass already. But we did get that awesome news. First, let's talk about his debut first. Okay. So let's talk about what happened against Baltimore on Sunday. And then we'll talk about some expectations and what we think we could or couldn't see from him going into this week. I will say real quick. No, I'll say that in a second. We'll go ahead and do this. So just you off the top, talking about what happened in Baltimore. What were your overall thoughts once Shedeur came into the game? Because I know that's all fans care about right now. So this is going to be a mostly Shedeur Sanders based podcast. So if you don't want to hear that, move on.
Well, a mixed bag. The exciting part, I'll start with this, the exciting stuff. Mm-hmm. We haven't attacked the third level of the field in weeks. I mean, it honestly, even when I'd even go all season, even when Flacco was starting, it was intermediate at best. So just the fact that was on the menu is exciting, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that he will look to push the ball. He'll if you look at the 25-yarder to Fannin, he passed up someone on the intermediate. And Njoku was right there, but he'll take those opportunities if they're there. And that's exciting. That's what, in a season that is lost, I'm going to take the little victories, and I want to at least be exciting. If we're going to lose and be dog shit, let's be exciting while we do it. So I think that provides that. But there is also the flaws that we were talking about even during the draft process of him holding on the ball sometimes, trying to play hero ball, taking bad sacks, like that stuff's there. But that's also you went, there's no game plan for you. This isn't your install for the week. So the fact that you get that now, he's going to have that full week of run up, which we were hoping would happen during the bye, that you would have a week of mental prep and then a week of physical run up leading to a first start, because I want to properly evaluate the kid. And I'm seeing a lot of people walking away from that game one way or the other and being like, he's not the guy. You look at the box score, 416. Yeah, it's ugly. I want to evaluate. So to evaluate, I want to see what he looks like with a game plan, what he looks like with a full week of run up, runs with the ones, and install things that like lend to his skill set. That's what I'm looking for. But as far as what he showed in the first half, he's got balls, man. He'll stand and deliver.
Mm-hmm. He is tough as nails. Always has been.
Yeah, and you might be too tough for your own good at this next level, but you gotta get these reps to find it, man. And the only way you get the reps is being on the field. So just going from right into the frying pan, right off the rip, and they were blitzing relentlessly. So it was a tough spot for the young man, but he stood tough, and he like obviously the best throw in my opinion was the one that was incompletion to Larvadan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big boy throw, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big boy throw. And if you can make those consistently, you can have a place in this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, man. I said that on a short on Monday, on one of our shorts on Monday. I was like, that was a back shoulder. That was a throw that literally made me stand up and go, oh,
yeah.
Like, oh, okay. All right. Like, that's something that I haven't seen from anybody all season. I think Bill in the comments kind of spells it out. The fact that Shedeur's longest pass came in the first half he has played versus Dillon Gabriel took 6 games to have a pass of that same yardage. Dillon Gabriel may have the higher floor, but Shedeur has the higher ceiling by far.
Yeah, and I would argue from what we've seen, I think Dillon's floor is way lower than we anticipated it could have been.
Yeah, it's low. Yeah. I
what I mean? Because that was the thought was like this player has a lower ceiling but a higher floor, and this player has a higher ceiling, but it just hasn't played out like that. And I also want to say this while we're talking, just mention his name because he's not going to be an emphasis of this podcast. This doesn't mean the book has been written on Dillon Gabriel.
Right.
He's a rookie. He had struggles. This is a dog shit offensive line, and I'm going to evaluate the same way I did him with Shedeur. It doesn't mean that he won't find his way eventually and be a backup, which I believe probably is his ceiling long term. But that doesn't mean because it was 6 games. People want to be hyperbolic, and I've already seen people comment on Shedeur like well, you better give Shedeur as long as you gave Gabriel before you come to a conclusion. People were coming to a conclusion on Gabriel after 2 games.
And they're coming to a conclusion of him in the preseason.
That's what I'm saying, man. So it's just let things play out, man. I hope he makes the most of it. The best case scenario is he takes the gig and runs with it. Beyond my whole take from the jump is I don't give a shit where you were drafted. It is on you now to become undeniable.
Yeah.
You can do that by starting this Sunday against Vegas.
Yeah. I'll give him one thing. He gets an easier matchup. I know Max Crosby is across from him, but he doesn't have to face Brian Flores in his first start, which is that's not I'm not knocking Shedeur. I'm just saying he at least gets a little bit of a more favorable matchup in his first career start than Dillon Gabriel did. So there's a reason to believe at least it could be a little bit better.
And even though the game against Minnesota was a home game in England, there will be more Browns fans at this game in Vegas than there were in London.
Oh yeah, you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it won't be like a crazy hostile environment, and it won't be it'll be later in the day. But he was used to playing in this time zone when he was in Colorado, or he was in Mountain time zone, so closer. So it shouldn't be too weird.
MC talks about the O-line being so bad they can't get a true evaluation. Yeah, it is hard, but when you watch the All-22, it's like you can see where the quarterback's eyes are, and you can see if he's reading properly. Like if you see it and it's like, oh, he sees that guy right there and he was going to make that throw and he got hit, you at least know that the mental processing side of things was good. So yeah, there is a big grain of salt because the offensive line is so bad and the wide receivers have struggled. Yeah, it does make it hard to get a true evaluation. But what you can get is enough of a reason to want to see more. That's what I think you can get. And that's what I got. I know 4 of 16 is 25%. You can't complete 25% of your passes. There was, I'm looking here, he had, I believe, one drop. So there was one drop. So you could have been 5 of 16 because he definitely put that one on the money if PFF is giving there a drop there. His average depth of target was 9.8. Do we really want to bring up the average depth of target of Dillon Gabriel? Because that was the difference for me, right? Like that was the difference for me this week. Talking about what happened with him over against the Ravens, in terms of like, I get it. It wasn't spectacular, but there were more moments in that half that made me go, I walked away from that game saying, I need to see this guy with a tailored game plan that's tailored to him and a full week of preparation, not just coming in at halftime. And I think that's pretty much what everybody else has said, because there was enough moments, enough flashes from Shedeur Sanders in this game that I said, okay, that he made some NFL throws. He made some big boy, some impressive throws. Let's see what it looks like, man. Does that mean that it's going to look better or it's going to be the same? Can he do a lot with a supporting cast that is not all that great? Like, I don't know. I really don't. And, the supporting cast didn't help out Dillon Gabriel a ton too. I know somebody says 2 drops in the comments. I've only got 1 drop logged on PFF, but yeah, there very easily could have been a couple in there. But my point is that the completion percentage was, hey, you overheated again, didn't you? But yeah, no, man, I walked away from that game where I'm just like, I need to see more, because, you said it perfectly. Like, you saw him attack. Like, you saw him willing to take those chances. You saw him willing to attack the deeper parts of the field. Whether it was successful or not, what that kind of changes the offense a little bit, and it helps out one of our favorite football players in Quinshon Judkins, because you cannot play this offense the same if the quarterback's at least willing. Like, yeah, he needs to be successful in attacking the deeper parts of the field to really open things up for the run game, but you at least take a step or 2 back knowing that he's willing to take those chances. Like, he didn't have a ton of success doing it. It's like, yeah, sure. But if we don't play the deeper part and we give him a wide open guy, or one-on-one with a speedy guy down the sideline or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to at least try to attack it downfield to where it kind of changes some things. And I'm just sitting here going, there's not a lot of things to watch for and like and enjoy about, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You've got Quinshon and you've got Fannin, and that's about it. And now it's like, well, this quarterback that at least gave us some fun moments for a half of football, maybe let me see. Like, I'm just so intrigued by what it could look like. And people are like, with the supporting cast, it's going to look the same. There's a chance. There's a pretty good chance, because he's not going to get a lot of help around him. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a few guys out there that we don't know who his offensive tackles are going to be. Like it'll be interesting, but he's going against a Raiders team that's not very good. That helps. Although Max Crosby is very good, and we do not know who's going to be blocking him. As long as it's KT Levinston, I said as long as it is. As long as it's not KT Levinston, because if it is, I pray for Shedeur's safety. But yeah, man, that's just me rambling on and on about it. But it was not a great performance, but it was a flashy performance. Like, it had its moments where it's like, let's see. Let me see. And you're not a playoff team, right? You're 2-8. You're not a playoff team. Okay. So let's go out there and see. Does this quarterback have something that's show me enough that I'm willing to say, I got to have more of that? Because I came out of this game saying, I want to see what this guy looks like when he's the starter, when he's prepared, when Tommy Rees I know Tommy Rees would change the way he called plays a little bit, but when Tommy Rees's entire scheme for the day is built around him, what does that look like? And that's given me more hope than I've had in over a month, I guess, is just like, let's see. Because like when Gabriel got out there, I was the same way. I'm like, well, let's see what this looks like, right? It could be great, could be awful. I don't know. But I want to see. And I'm very intrigued to see, what he does, because he's willing to take more chances, and that can be good and that can be bad. But he's willing to do things that you need to be able to do to win in this league. And I'm very excited to see what happens.
The hope comes in tears for me. And like, I thought when you originally said, I was like, yeah, I haven't had hope in a while. Then I was like, no, actually I did when Tommy Rees took over play calling. I was like, I had a little hope there to see what does that look like. And reality is like the result was the same, but the offense looked more functional as far as play sequencing and route combinations and stuff. But the execution was piss poor.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What I mean? So what does that look like with a different quarterback? How can they scheme around some of what Shedeur is deficient in right now? I mean, he's a rookie with the most limited experience possible. They're going to have to try to get him around some things. And Max Crosby's a problem. It doesn't come much higher in orders of magnitude from pass rushing standpoint of like you're under hazard. But this is the NFL, man. You're going to have a challenge like this every week. So what does it look like? And you spoke about just the attacking nature of the way he plays the position. Dude, you only got to connect on one or two of those, and then they have to respect it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. Whether that's Darvidan or Isaiah Bond, all it takes is a couple, and then they have to respect it. And then all of a sudden, defenses can't play you the exact same, and it lightens the box just a little bit. And then you start to see a symbiotic relationship between the run and the pass, which is the thing we always highlighted with Stefanski's system in the past. It has not been there at all. Even though you should be a running team, you end up throwing. I think they've had the third most pass attempts in the league this year.
Something like that, yeah. Doesn't
add up to what should be happening. But there's also game flow and all these things. But you're playing a team who's struggling too.
Yeah.
And the reality is the Vegas has them favored by 3.5. Probably about right. You know what I mean? Based on where the Browns are at. But I don't know. I see it. I love this challenge. I love this challenge, and for the same reasons you do, I just give me more reasons, man. Give me reasons to want to see more.
Yes.
And like I said, his debut was a mixed bag. There was bad and there was good. And I know people who just watch box scores like, oh, he was ass. There's more nuance in these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At least there should be, whether there is or there isn't. And I'm just excited to see what he does with this opportunity, man.
When it comes to like, I think of always this, I'm associating Shedeur's debut. I don't even really want to call it a debut. I want to look at this week as his debut, but his first game action coming in, cold in the second half. Boy, Teller even talked about it. He's like, we've only heard his cadence 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
So like, it's a very big challenge for you to go into the situation that he was in and be ultra successful. Especially just given how far down he was on the depth chart all year long. I mean, training camp, all that stuff. And like, I know he's worked his tail off in extra sessions and things like that, which you love to hear. You absolutely love to hear that sort of stuff. And also, to the dickhead that robbed his house while he was playing, fuck you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I just remembered that happened, and I wanted to throw this out there. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, that was pretty disrespectful, you asshole. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know that was all going to come out right there like that. Pause. Anyway, No, sorry, Ed. When you know me, when it starts, it doesn't stop.
Pause.
Great pause. I didn't even intend that one. Um, so I always say, like, when there's a breakup, right? Like a messy breakup, there's always three sides, right? His side, her side, and the truth. Um, and that's what I feel like his debut was. His his diehard supporters, his diehard haters, and what it actually was. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? And one thing I think they've got to work on this week with him is he had a 3.31 second time to throw. He's got to speed that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I loved the accountability he had took. He was like, I didn't play good at all. Like he's like, I love that sort of stuff. Like, and people are like, oh, it's just player speak and stuff like that. But we have had players and we've seen players.
Yeah.
And, like I consistently watch Carson Beck's done this a couple times this year for Miami, the quarterback down with the Hurricanes, where he's like, oh, wide receiver ran the wrong route. Okay, that's fine, but you don't need to put him on blast in a press conference. Like, there's just no reason for it. And you're like, and Shedeur didn't do anything like that. Not saying that there was like the interception looks like it was the wrong route. His interception, I do believe it was potential because in the moment, like when I saw the replay, I'm like, who the heck was he even trying to throw it to? Like, I just couldn't figure it out. And then, kind of heard some buzz that it was a choice route and that Tillman, and good shocker, had ran the wrong one and, that sort of thing.
It's also a choice route, man. And that's it. When you're playing with those type of parameters and those rules, time on task fucking matters.
Yeah.
Between a quarterback and a wide receiver to make sure they're seeing the game the same way. So I don't know if running choice routes when a guy's never played before, that's the move.
Well, and that's where I think, exactly. And I think that's where a game plan actually being tailored around a guy makes a difference, right? Like, because Dylan Gabriel was, what was that start? 7, right? Or 6 or 7. It was the 6th or 7th start. So
6th.
It was 6th. So at that point, he had, that chemistry, that timing. There's a decent bit of time on task, as you said, already for Gabriel, but not for Shedeur, because that game was not made. That plan was not made. Was it adjusted and things like that? Sure, but you can only do so much adjusting not even day of, in the middle of a day of game. A very good question here. What the heck's up with Sampson? I just think that right now with Dylan Sampson, I don't know. And I've got a lot of gripes about the coaching staff, and that's one of them. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here's the one thing I noticed that the most in Shedeur's debut. Zach Orr, which is the Baltimore's DC, called some exotic packages and was living on demon time as a defensive coordinator against that O-line.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, he won't have to deal with that every week. Cover 0 damn near every play. Oh yeah, they knew. Like,
but it's one of my biggest gripes with the coaching. It's like, you see it too, right? Where's the easy early answers, man?
Where's the screens?
Hot route. We ain't got time for this shit. They're coming. Pause.
That deserved a longer pause, so I waited there for a second.
I'm just saying, man, like, help your guy out. And then when we talk about players like Sampson, I feel the same way about Corley. And and I get it. Your wide receiver corp has been less than stellar. You don't feel like you have guys you can count on. But, man, you got guys that I think do damage with the ball in their hands, like Sampson and Corley, Fannin. Like, manufacture these touches. Obviously, Quinshawn that can do what Quinshawn can do. Manufacture, man. I lean into who you have instead of, like, wish casting that these guys all of a sudden become Jerry Rice and get all the separation. Like, you're going to have to go back to the toolbox on that during the offseason. But there's things you need to build around, and you start that now. Don't tell me you're going to start that next year. Like, find 5-6 plays where Sampson has to touch the football.
Yeah.
I just feel good. I feel the same thing with Corley. Like, Corley not touching the ball 4 or 5 times is a crime. Good things happen when he touches the football, dude. Like, it's apparent.
And I will give them a little bit of credit that Larvadan played with Shedeur, only like 4 snaps like on the final drive, but they did put him out there as because he's one of the guys that's worked more with Shedeur because of scout team and stuff like that, how far down on the depth chart they were in training camp and things like that. So I will give them a little bit of credit. They did try a little bit to help ease it. But again, that's trying to shift gears and go to a different style more because Shedeur's more of a pocket passer, more of an attacker than Gabriel, who wants to get the ball out quickly or to move around and things like, they're different. They're not like complete opposites, but they're not the same. And so, trying to find some different ways to be creative, like I just think in the moment, I just think it's hard to judge him, right? Like I would say that even if he was really, really good, I would have been like, well, let's wait until a team has game planned around him, because that is also going to be something. Like the Raiders know it's Shedeur Sanders. So it goes both ways. But the title of this episode is, can Shedeur Sanders spark the Lifeless Browns offense? He can. I do think he can. I think he absolutely can. And there were moments in this game where I thought, okay, let me see you do that again. And that's just kind of like, that's just kind of how I've thought about it all week, where I'm just kind of like, I know it wasn't perfect. He had 3 turnover worthy plays according to PFF. Like I know it wasn't perfect. There was plenty of bad out there, held onto the ball a little long. But I'll tell you, he's got to stop drifting backwards. And I understand that they knew that and they forced him to do that because they just really came after him as a defense. But I will give him credit when he that escape and that miss to Bond in the end zone, like Gabriel wouldn't have taken that shot at the end zone. Like he was taking shots at the end zone, not just, 20-yard shots. He was throwing it into the end zone. If he had just set his feet just a little bit more on that throw to Bond, because he was rolling to the left, because he starts to set his feet, but he just wasn't completely set. If he takes about a half second more, and I'm not saying he had a half second more to take, but if he had about a half a second more and he set himself just a little bit more, he had him. And that's another one of those plays that makes me go, okay, yeah, he didn't have him in that play.
Yeah.
But next week, if it happens again, will he make that play?
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at, man. Like I want to keep watching our favorite player in the world, and Carson Schlesinger, who's making me some money. But one thing I really want to do is I want to see him go out there. I know the supporting cast is bad, but if he can look good with a bad supporting cast, well, then we got an interesting predicament on our hands, and that's about the best thing that could come out of this season based on the way it has started.
Yeah, my task for Tommy Rees this week: get Shedeur in a rhythm. Get Shedeur in a rhythm, and then play off of that and try to capitalize on those big plays when they're available. Some of that might be out of structure, but for me, it needs to start in structure and then work its way out, as opposed to getting hot trying to hit out of structure. Give him some easy reads, give him Fannin, give him Njoku, give him a slant to Judy early, get the bubble screen, just get the ball moving down the field, and then you can start to sprinkle in those shots, and then you'll see the defense start to loosen up, because they have to. Right now, the defenses don't have a reason to. They know they got to stop 10. They know they got to stop Quinshawn, so they'll load that box.
Could you
make them double think that?
Could you, if let's say you hit 2 passes that travel more than 20 yards down the field in the first half, when they go into halftime, you don't think that they're immediately trying to make adjustments to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah.
In the second half? And like you just said, what does that mean? Oh, man, it means it's ground and pound time, baby.
Yeah.
And then you ground and pound them a little bit, and then you play action, take a shot down the field, and it starts opening these things up. And, like, it's just – I know he didn't hit a lot of those chances, and a lot of that had to do with the offensive line. Like, what? Let me see. How many pressures did he have? I don't see an actual. I don't see them. I can't find the pressures on this. I have his stuff pulled up, but I don't really see the pressures that he took. Sometimes on some of these websites, I don't fully understand what it's telling me. So,
yeah.
Bill wanted to pause himself in the comments, so we're going to let him. He said, the biggest thing, too, is that the Las Vegas secondary is allowing 7 yards per attempt this season. There will be holes everywhere, pause, for him to throw into. Do you think we've set a pause record?
No, we could do better.
Oh, well, we can do better. We
can do better.
We can always.
I'm being serious though. Like you guys do draft coverage. There's no other pause like draft coverage. Like the pause edition of the draft show, where you're constantly talking about get off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, it exploding through the hole. That's one that I do a lot.
You know.
Penetrate. I actually had this conversation with my non-football fan wife, and she's just like, "There's a lot of like innuendos," and I'm like, "Oh yeah. It's there's so many of them."
There's someone out there who have a cut up of Collinsworth saying shit, and it's like coming right down his throat. Like Jesus, like slow down. No pauses there.
In the moment, it makes sense, right? In the moment, you're like, yeah. And then you're like, ooh. What did I do?
Yeah, we'll set a pause record. You and Bill are going to have me on at some point, and we'll go for it.
Yeah.
We'll intend our puns and really try to go for it.
We'll set that up, guys. So that's it, guys. There's hope that the offense could be more fun this week. Could be. Will it be? I don't know. I really just don't know. You know, like
the word I've described this offense with all season is toothless.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Let's have some bite. Let's go out there and be aggressive. You're already bad.
Yeah.
You know? Let's have some fun now. Let's hit some dingers, baby. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. What do you got to lose, man? Take the shackles off. Like, not that there were shackles on Shedeur in this game because he only played half of football. But you get my point. Like, you just
shit. He was taking shots either way.
And you can tell Tommy Rees dialed him up, man. Like he understood the assignment. Now I want to see what's the assignment look like when you got more than how long's halftime? 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes or
12.
something like. It's 12 now.
12 minutes. I believe that's what it's been.
Oh, I'm thinking of college. I think college is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. I must be thinking of that. So you're talking about like a week of prep versus like the amount of time it takes me to take a shit.
Boom.
I almost thought I was getting a spit take you there.
No, man. Come on. I'm a professional.
Fuck. Guys, we love you guys so very, very much. Casey will be back on Friday with a Know Your Enemy edition. This Saturday, Bill and I are going to we'll be back for our live draft show. We're going to do a show that I don't know how to title, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some players who our opinions of them have totally changed. Rather, we thought they sucked and now they're balling out, or we thought they were going to ball out and they've sucked. So we're going to talk about some guys that have had extreme changes in their draft profile. So we appreciate you guys very much. Hit that subscribe, give us a thumbs up, check us out, the socials at the top of the screen. We love you guys. As always, go Browns.